Hello everyone, how are you? Hope you are doing very well. Welcome to our math class. Today we will start lesson 2 in chapter 12, which is about describe angles in plane shapes. So during this class time we will cover page 509 and 510 from your math book. So if you are ready, please open page 509 from your math book. Okay, let's start a quick question. It says, how can you describe the angles in the shape that Jason drew? So how can we show it? First of all, we need to check the shape and then we need to check the angles. What does it mean, angle? Angle is represent two rays which is common and end point. So they have a common end point and which is called vertex. What does it mean, right angle? If there is a square in the angle, it represents my right angle. With right angle, there are two more types of angles. So we can say this angle less than a right angle and the other angle is a greater than a right angle. Right now, let's check the question. It's asking for Jason's shape has right angles. Remember right angles. Right angles. How many right angles can you see here? First of all, let's check. In this shape, how many angles can you see? 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? There are 4 angles. So how can I find right angles? For example, here, this part and this angle. They are the representative of right angle? Yes, they are an example for a right angle. So which one is, first one is here and second angle is here. It's asking for Jason's shape has how many angles less than a right angle. Remember, if it is right angle, which one is less than a right angle? This one or this one? So this angle is less than a right angle, right? So in this situation, there is only one angle less than a right angle. What about in this shape? How many angle greater than a right angle? So I know this is represent a right angle. So I know this is less than a right angle. So let's check the last one. This angle is greater than a right angle, right? So there is only one angle greater than a right angle, which is here. Perfect. Okay, now let's check your book. It says an angle is formed by two rays that share an endpoint, like we said before. So there is an endpoint here. It is common for both rays, and there are two rays. We say this endpoint represents a vertex. So let's check my question here. It's asking for how many angles are in Jason's shape. Remember, how many angles can you see here? First angle is here, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what I write here? How many angles? So it will be 4 angles in this shape. Check them again. 1, 2, 3, and 4 angles. Good. So right now let's check right angles less than a right angle and greater than a right angle. Remember the beginning of the class. So if you see a square in the vertex in the angle, so it represents a right angle because it's an angle that forms a square corner. What about this angle? This angle represents a less than a right angle. If it will be a right angle, so I know it will be like this, right? But I know this angle is less than a right angle. What about this angle? I know if it will be a right angle, this line and this line segment I will use. But this time it's greater than a right angle. So let's check. It says look at Jason's shape. Two angles what? They are right angles. Good. So it says angle is greater or less than an angle, we will say right angle. So how many angle less than a right angle? How many angle greater than a right angle? So one angle is less than a right angle, right? Like you see in the second picture. This angle there is only one and it's less than a right angle, and one angle is greater than a right angle. Good. It's here. This angle is greater than a right angle. Good job. So if you finish, please open page 510 now. It says, cut a small slit in the shorter section of a bendable straw. Cut off the shorter section of a second straw and the bendable part. Insert the slit end of the first straw into the second straw. So actually, if we do this, you can see a vertex here, right? So we can imagine it can be ray, and this part is common. So it is the end point for this straw. So it represents my vertex. It's a make an angle with the straws like you see here. You put together, compare the angle you made a corner of the sheet of paper, open and close the straws to make other types of angles. So it's a draw a right angle, less than a right angle, or greater than a right angle. So let's check how can I draw them. First of all, I need this right angle, right? So I need two line segments and I need a square, because I know if I put a square here, it represents a right angle. So I just want to be sure this is right angle. If I want to be sure it's right angle, I need to see this square here. So this is an example for right angle. What about less than a right angle? If I make it smaller, so I can say this angle, check it, this is my angle now. So this angle is less than a right angle. What about greater than a right angle? So I need to open this line segment. So right now I open it, but for less than a right angle, I just close it. So if I open it, I know this angle is right here. So this angle is greater than a right angle. Good. Let's check shade and show part. It says how many angles are in the triangle at the right. Before checking this shape, let's check the name, triangle. Triangle. If you see triangle, how many angles can you imagine? Let's check my shape. So this is my triangle, right? Because there are three sides, and how many angles? In triangle, three angles. First one is here, 1, 2, 3. So I know a triangle has three sides and three angles. Remember its name, triangle. So the next question say, use the corner of a sheet of paper to tell whether the angle is a right angle, less than a right angle, or greater than a right angle. Let's check second question. First of all, let's check this angle. I know if it will be a right angle, it should be straight, right? There should be another straight line segment here, but it's open. So it's greater than a right angle, right? So what are you right? I know this angle is an example for a greater than a right angle. What about third one? So let's check. If it would be a right angle, I know this is straight line segment and there should be another straight line segment here. But I close this line segment. So in this situation, it will be less than a right angle, right? Good. What about fourth? If you see square here, square represent which angle? If you see square, just be sure this is representation for a right angle, right? So good job. Thank you. Take care of you.